everybody, welcome back to another video with the Skater Babe ASMR. I'm so happy that you could join me today. Today's video will be a soft-spoken video, which I don't do very often. I don't feel like it's my forte. I feel like I'm too loud, maybe. I don't know. I don't do them very often, and you'll probably see me dip into a more comfortable whisper here and there. So I apologize. If it's not your cup of tea, then that's okay. You can go enjoy one of my other whisper videos. I do a lot of those. But I thought it could be fun to do a soft-spoken video where I show you some of my books from my book collection. I don't have a major book collection because I don't typically buy physical books. I read a lot on Libby, the library app. And I also have a Kindle. So usually my physical books are some that I own, very few that I own, or that I've loved and will reread. And then a lot of them are just ones that I've been borrowing from my mom or sisters, that either they don't want back or I just have them for some reason. I haven't read them yet, maybe. It's a couple of them. This first one is one that I love. I probably have reread this book maybe just twice. But I love the movie as well. It's Ender's E-N-D-E-R-S Game A-M-E. It's really hard to do it backwards. But Ender's Game is one of my favorite books slash movies. It is #1 New York Times bestseller. It's by Orson Scott Card. This book is like kind of dense. I don't know if you guys can you know what I mean, but some books are like fluffier. I feel like this is like it's kind of compact book. Young Enter Wiggin thinks he is playing war games at the battle school high in orbit, but he is engaged in something far more desperate. Ender may be the military genius or desperately needs in a war against an alien enemy seeking to destroy all human life. The only way to find out is to throw Ender into every harsher training to chip away and find the diamond inside or destroy him utterly. Sorry, my neighbors are being a little bit too loud, so if it's choppy, it's because they're running up and down the stairs, and it's quite loud, so I don't know if you could hear that, but I might have to cut, snip. So anyway, love this book. The movie's fantastic. I think the actor who played Ender was fabulous, did a great job. Highly would recommend. The next book I have not read. It's one that my mom or my sister gave me, and it's on my list to read. But I've had so many books that I've been reading that I have not gotten to this one yet. But it's called Georgiana's. I'm guessing it's like Georgiana, maybe. Georgiana's Secret. Like in Pride and Prejudice. Is there Georgiana? I feel like there is. It's his sister, right? Can't remember exactly, but This is a Regency romance on the high seas. I don't know if you guys read many Regency romances. I've read a few. Actually, I've not read the Bridgerton ones before, but I've heard lots about those. I've seen the series on Netflix, but I've heard that the past few seasons have been quite different from the books, which is a bummer because I feel like the book is always better. At least in my opinion, typically. For instance, I just read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I thought I hated a lot about it, to be honest. But the show was completely different than the book. Like, really, they changed so much of what I loved about the book and what's not typical TV, and they made it typical TV, which I didn't like because it's so rare that we get a different story that I wish they had stuck to the book that was different. But that's just my opinion. My coworker, I think she liked the show more than the book. So it's everyone's opinion, but I do like Sam Claflin. He's a great actor. I really like him in Hunger Games and Me Before You. This, he was fine. I think it just wasn't one of my favorite shows. I would never watch it. So hopefully I'll get to reading that at some point. The book that I'm currently reading is a fatty. Even when I'm reading this book, I'm always tapping on it out of habit. It's just and I like the sounds. It's almost soothing to tap on it while I read it. So this beautiful book is Inheritance. This is my sister's book that she's lent to me so kindly. So it has been well loved. For instance, you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but the binding is coming undone, so I need to either glue it or, I don't know. I don't really know what to do. I was not the cause, it was already like that. I feel bad because it's been in my care. But it is by Christopher Paolini. I'm probably mispronouncing his name. Let's see. I think there's a pronunciation guide, maybe. This is the map of Alagasia. Probably mispronouncing that too. In my head when I'm reading, I think I pronounce it Alagasia. Yeah, I think I pronounce it like that. Hardcore struggling. So anyway, I just recently started this and I'm proud of the progress I've made because it is a long book. I am on page 243. A heart to heart. I have this beautiful bookmark that my sister-in-law gave me. It's a Harry Potter bookmark of Gryffindor vibes. That nails on a chalkboard, I'm sorry. Anyway, so this book has 849 pages, so it's a pretty good sized book. But I've really enjoyed it so far. and like the whole Aragon series I've really enjoyed. I had never read them before, and I'm glad I waited until as an adult, because I think I appreciate it more than I would have when I didn't really care about reading back in the day. I was not a reader, and I really like reading now, but I'm still not like a hardcore reader. Like, it's not like I have a combination of things that I enjoy doing. So when I say not hardcore, like, I don't put it, like, I don't go through books as fast as a lot of people do. I wish I did, but I don't always make time for that. I have been reading about a chapter a day, sometimes more or less, sometimes a chapter from one book and a chapter from another book. Just depends. The next book is by Christopher Paolini. I really gotta learn how to say that. This one is Murtagh. So I think this just came out this past year, and it is the last book of the Aragon series. He waited quite a few years to put this one out, so I think it's kind of separate-ish. I mean, you should read the other ones, but it comes right after. And also, I know he has pronunciation guide in each of his books. Do I use them? Not really. Should I? Yes. I always pronounced this name right here, Murtagh. I always pronounced it as I'm reading it in my head. Murtagh. But in the pronunciation guide, my sister corrected me because I was like, oh, Murtagh. And she's like, no, Murtagh. But I think I'm still gonna pronounce it my way. Sorry. But such a pretty book. It's pretty new since it's from this past year. The other ones are kind of old. My sister just read it. She gave it to me to read after this one. Trainer, outcast, hunter, hero. Christopher Paolini is a true rarity. I really like, what I love about his books is the detail that he gets into the character building, the nuances. Like, I'm currently writing a novel. It's based on my life experience of like finding my husband and some other things, and it's fictionalized, but it's very cheesy. It's more like high school age, I think. But like looking at how he wrote and like the research he must have done to know swordsmanship and what's proper in king-queen realm, you know, and I'm sure some of it is made up to his liking, but it's just like to think about how much went into that. I'm like, I could never. But he's truly gifted in writing. World of Aragon. So there's the first book, Aragon, and then there's eldest. Wait, yeah, it's like this is inheritance. Yeah. So there's Aragon, eldest, Brissinger, and inheritance, and then this one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, but yes, not 4, but 5 books of the Aragon series. Highly recommend if you've never read them. I've really enjoyed reading them over the past year. Sorry, I'm still getting over a little bit of a cold. Just have this residual teeny bit of a cough. Anywho, this book is not as cute or as fancy, but it's something that I think will benefit my life. I don't read a ton of self-help books. I used to more so than I have been recently. There's been so many great fantasy books out that I've just kind of been obsessed with and have not given my mental self-help as much attention as I should. This was recommended by the guy I see for my anxiety, my therapist. He recommended a guide to rational living. As somebody who has and struggles with anxiety, I'm not very rational sometimes. In fact, sometimes I'm very irrational. Sometimes my brain gets in a muddle and nothing makes sense, and it all feels very confusing, and it's like, how did I get here, kind of. So he recommended this one because it's a book about kind of resetting your mind to remember how to think more rationally. Like, remember, okay, like it's kind of those tips that you hear of, like, when you're feeling anxious, you look at objects around you, like, okay, there's a couch, a pillow, a blanket, it's white. Like, to get your mind thinking of more descriptions rather than all the things that we can spiral with. But this is by Albert Ellis, who has a PhD, and Robert A. Harper, who also has a PhD. And the foreword is by Melvin Powers. So, anywho, I started this book, and I got in. This is a beautiful bookmark. Just a piece of paper that's been, I don't know, bent and old. How you create your feelings. That's where I ended. It was only on page 23. It's been like a year since I read this. So I need to get back to it because it really is good. It's just sometimes self-help takes longer to get through because it's not as like, oh, what happens next? It's like, oh yeah, that's helpful. I should really apply that to my life, you know? I really, really should. So this is something that I need to get back to reading. I would carry this around with me when I first got it. I have a notebook so that I could take notes as things came up that I wanted to remember. So okay. The next book. Sorry, some of these are so random. Just like what was in my bookshelf. I love the cover of this book. Like, it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. She is gorgeous. Got these beautiful lips. They're so perfect. This little beautiful nose. Blue, pretty, pretty eyes. And beautiful red hair. I love little freckles. I have a couple freckles, but because I have makeup on, you can't really see them. In the summertime, they're much more noticeable, especially if you're up close to me, but I just have a couple, like right there, on the ridge of my nose. So this is a book I actually have not read either. This is a historical romance by Carol Warburton. It's called The Whispered Dance of Bees. Let's see how many pages, just for the fun of it. There are 256 pages, so it's about where I'm at in this book. But this is about, but the night of her birth was shadowed by an eerie devil's moon, and her christening day marred by a fierce hailstorm. Ill omens that led the superstitious peasants to seek Alice's life. Desperate to save her infant daughter, Alice's mother flees with her baby, finding shelter and goodwill at the isolated farm of strangers. There, Alice's life is filled with secrets, unanswered questions, and a sense of foreboding. Her worst fears are realized when she narrowly escapes the clutches of her murderer by fleeing into the forest. Fate steps in once more change the course of her life when Alice is found and taken in by Elspeth, a wise woman with the uncanny ability to commune with nature. Trained by Elspeth in the art of healing, Alice remains haunted by the puzzle of her past until she discovers her mother's lost pendant. With the help of this object, the aid of the enchanting William Pascoe, Alice finally holds the key to who she once was and who she will become. So I don't really know. I don't even know who gave me this book. I think it was probably my mom. She gets a lot of these types of books and then she'll pass them along and doesn't care if she gets them back. But I've had this one for a while and I've not read it yet either. So there are many that I need to read. This is another one that I have not read yet. The Kiss of a Stranger. This is by Sarah M. Eden. I think this is another proper romance. Speaking of proper romances, at my old job, I had some coworkers who would read proper romances and watch proper romance shows. One of my coworkers, he's like, I hate them, and which is funny because he loves like musicals and all that kind of stuff, but he doesn't like proper romances at all. He thinks they're cheesy, and which they are. But my other coworker and I watched Poldark on Amazon Prime. I don't know if you guys have watched that. I loved it, but I hated it at the same time. And she felt the same. But I do enjoy a good proper romance. And then we have this one, Heart in the Highlands. She's sworn to never forgive him. He's vowed to win her back. So heartwarming, so dramatic. I don't know what this one is either. This one feels very new and fresh, though I like the artwork. There's lots of flowers in it. Waft you with the book. Okay, I only have one more to show you. Mostly I just wanted to see, like, tap and flip through pages of different books because they all have different sounds. Remarkably Bright Creatures. A novel by Shelby Van Pelt. I have no idea what this book is about. My mom recommended it. I think it's hers as well. It's been on my list to read for a while, but I haven't gotten to it yet, as with most of the books I showed you. I will show you though. Somewhere in here. Right here. And a bookmark for this book that I have not started. Look how dang cute this bookmark is. My niece drew this and laminated it. So it's very special because it's from her. And I also just think it's cute. It's actually cute. It's actually a cute bookmark. Like, you know, sometimes kids make things and you're like, oh, cute. And then you're like, toss. But I actually love this. And it was very sweet of her to make me that. semi-relaxing. I feel like because my neighbors were being so loud, it took me a while to get into it. I had to record many times. So I hope you found some relaxation, and I hope you got some book ideas of things you might want to read. Tell me what you guys are reading if you're book people. If you're not, what shows you're watching, because I'm a show girl too. I'm not a show girl, but I like shows. But yeah, I am listening to a lot of audiobooks right now too, and for those who are fourth wing girlies, fourth wing, I am listening to Onyx Storm on audiobook right now, and it is so good. I cannot wait to get further into it. I'm only like 5 hours into it, and it's like a 24-hour audiobook. So I can't wait to get further into it. But so far, it's good. So far, I'm getting a little bit like nervous of what's gonna happen. But if you guys are reading that as well or excited about it, drop it in the comments below. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you know that you are capable of more than you know, and that you have a friend here, me. And I'll see you all in my next